Hi, I'm Allan White. I'm a lifelong resident of Boone, even though I work seasonally in Alaska. For 40 years I grew up in, and my family has lived in a beautiful historic neighborhood that's located behind where the hotel is now located. What happened was that hotel is way too big for that location to be built on the commercial land that fronts 105. To build there, they had to build it not adjacent to, but into our neighborhood. It required the rezoning and partial destruction of 3 acres of neighborhood land. The neighborhood objected, of course, but the hotel representatives and the Boonetown officials were determined to go through with the project. So we were promised by the hotel and the town that if they built there would be many requirements would be complied with about the preservation and reestablishment of a tall natural buffer, they call it, a visual barrier of trees between the tall hotel building and the lower Wintergreen Lane neighborhood homes. This included existing town development laws and also additional specific rezoning conditions. What happened was the hotel completely ignored and violated all these requirements. They were allowed to do so by the Boonetown government. They graded back much further than their required limit on their approved grading plan. They cut down a grove of trees that they were specifically required to not cut and graded out the earth below them that they were required to not grade. And among many other violations, they replanted trees that were much shorter than what was required. And so the result is now that the buffer is way out of compliance with the laws, and the part of the back of the hotel that's actually sitting in the neighborhood, we now have the lower homes have a clear view of a large portion of it. The worst part being that the third and fourth floor windows of the back of the hotel now have a clear, unbuffered view directly down into the bedroom windows of the homes. We think this is pretty reprehensible that this occurred in light of the fact that the rezoning afforded the hotel probably $1 million increase in their land value. We know they spent over $10 million on the project and had at least a $250,000 landscape budget. But to save $10,000, 1/10 of 1% of the total budget, they were allowed to even with the excessive cutting and grading, taller trees could cure the problem. We estimate 10,000. They are expensive, but there wouldn't require that many. So anyway, we can't get any justice from the hotel or the town. All they would have to do is remove and plant somewhere else the undersized trees, bring in some tall trees, the required trees by the laws, and since we can't get any results from the hotel or the town, we've been asking for public support, and we're bringing public awareness. I've been asking that anyone that wants to support us in a small way could call the number, and I can give many more details. We have overwhelming verification and documentation of all the requirements, even though the hotel and the town will claim the requirements have been met. That's ridiculous. The violations are obvious and blatant. We've been asking that they would just simply support us in a small way by calling and letting the hotel know that we have their support. Their number is 265-7676. Ask to speak to or leave a message for the hotel manager. Let them know you support the neighborhood. It's the Wintergreen Lane neighborhood buffer violations. And any of your friends or family could make the same call. We'd really appreciate it. We think the more calls are made, the more they become aware of our public support, the more chance we think we have of getting some justice. And we really appreciate any support that you can give us. And any other questions, anyone can call anytime. We have volumes of information. I just gave you the summary. Thanks. This is what the hotel representatives had an architect's rendition from my mom's bedroom window. My family owns 2 homes in the lower neighborhood. This is the view from one of them. This says top of building beyond. That's where the top of the hotel was. These were the trees that they were supposed to plant. So that's what we were told we would get. And this is taken from exactly the same vantage point and exactly the same scale. So it's obvious that it's a total violation of what we were told would happen, and also it's a complete violation of the town ordinances and rezoning conditions. So we have all kinds of documentation, and we really appreciate any public support that anyone could give us by just letting the hotel become aware of your support.
Great.